Hi, welcome to today's class. So today we're going to look at startups. So startups have been popularized within the couple of years going by, mainly due to their nature and the opportunities which they've been able to create within the market. But despite the fact that they're really popularized, very few people seem to understand how startups work. So to do that, we need to do a research and clearly understand what truly startups do and what's the nature and what differentiates startups with the other businesses. So to find out this, we did a couple of researches and looked at the literature available and also talked to entrepreneurs within the country and tried to understand really what's the big differentiation between being a startup and a business in normal terms. So to do this, first we looked at what is not a startup. So one thing to understand and a great misconception which has been occurring within the market is that a startup is a small version of a large company. So it's good for you to understand that a startup is not a smaller version of a large company. So in real sense, then what is a startup? A startup can be defined as a temporary organization in search of a scalable and repeatable business model. So this has led to what can be referred to as the second industrial revolution. Within our time, the startup scene mainly operating on a concept that we have products which are both virtual, being sold through virtual channels. So earlier on within the market, as you can see from the box on the display, on the bottom right-hand corner, you had physical products sold through physical channels. This was the traditional business models. So if you needed to buy a good, you need to go to a physical shop and buy a physical thing. Then from there, we moved on to a virtual product being sold through a physical channel. So here you had things such as insurance and stocks. Then from there, we moved on. We started having physical products being sold through virtual channels. So this gave rise to some of the e-commerce opportunities where you could be able to order goods online and have them maybe delivered to you. So the goods were physical, however, the channel was virtual. Then from there, we moved on to virtual products being sold through virtual channels. So this being the most popular type of startups within the market at the moment. And they include examples such as the social media platforms, such as Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All these are able to facilitate the trading of virtual content through a virtual channel. So there's also a great terminology here. This is a great quote that at this moment in time, you're either operating above the API or below the API. So this is in relation to the applications within the market. So you're either the one creating this, we can refer to them as robots, or rather the online solutions, or rather utilizing or depending on them to run. So a clear example of this can be, let's say a user, or rather a driver, driving a taxi hailing app such as Uber. So the driver himself is below the API. So he's being given instructions by the app to be able to perform. But the owners of the app are the ones above the API. So this is a great terminology of looking at the aspect of startups in terms of innovation and creation of solutions and their role which they play in the general economy. So one thing important then to understand is how truly do they work. So for a startup, since it's a temporary organization, you operate on a hypothesis. So these are smart guesses. When you're starting out, you need what is referred to as a business model. So for the business model, we have a business model canvas, which is separated into 9 components, which cover the whole operations of the business. So when starting out, you have a hypothesis about these sections. So for you, what you're trying to do is to prove your hypothesis through getting out of the building and validating what you're guessing as solutions to problems existing within the market. So with that being said, the only way you can be able to do that is getting out of the building, interacting with clients, and being able to validate if you have the right problem and the right solution for them. Also came across this term. It's actually a Japanese term referred to as Chindogu. So Chindogu mainly refers to the creation of rather useless inventions. So if you fail to get out of the building for innovation for your startup, you might find out that at the end of it, you're creating a solution for a problem which is non-existent, or rather your solution is creating more problems within the market. So it's a key aspect of thinking and reasoning around startups. So in the event that you find out that the market, maybe you're not addressing the right problem, or rather your solution is not the right for the market, so you can always pivot. So pivot, this involves changing one of the key components of your business model. So let's say you assumed a certain customer will be your customer, and you found out the actual person who needs your product is a different customer. So you need to pivot and reposition your business to be able to address these challenges. Then finally comes success. So how can you measure success for your startup? So for success can be measured through the creation of a solution which brings about a scalable and repeatable business model, and often needs to be profitable at the end of the day to be sustainable, and identify a customer and be able to serve them through either your product or your services. So to learn more about startups, you can be able to join our full course related to startups within the market. One of the core researches which we're doing here as a company. And for those who don't know me, my name is Joseph Mungi. I'm actually an entrepreneur and a business owner within the Kenyan market. I'm the founder of companies such as FinaHost Online Solutions, Zaidi Insurance and Technology, FinaTrack Global Limited, and Online Advisors Insurance Agency. So startups have been a key impact to the way I've been able to view businesses, and found out that there's a huge gap and rather knowledge disconnect within the market. Personally, I've been a student in the School of Business from an undergraduate level to a PhD level, and never came across an in-depth education model related to startups. So we believe this can be able to be a great opportunity, and we'll be able to sell much opportunities related to this.